one. Numerical word for singular, as in one race, one car, one winner of $1 million. 16 have already secured a chance to win that prize, but for those who have yet to qualify, it's go time.
Win and you're in. 3 segments in this throwdown. First place is all that matters.
Today, it's all out. Go for broke, go for the win.
It's time for the Monster Energy Open. Who will advance to the All-Star race and get a chance to compete with the best of the best? Find out next on FS1.
Qualifying over, time for the Open. Coming up, our NASCAR Monster Energy All-Star Saturday coverage continues. Glad to have you watching on FS1. Live from Charlotte Motor Speedway. You see the weather's outstanding. The car's looking nice. With Michael Waltrip, I'm Chris Myers, counting you down eventually to the 33rd All-Star race. That'll be under the lights here. So thanks for staying along with us. So now that we know the starting order for the drivers fighting for 3 spots, 24 drivers, 3 spots, then the fan vote, what do you expect to see based on what you just saw?
I don't think they're going to beat Boyer, Blaney, or Chase Elliott. Those guys are 1, 2, 3 in qualifying. I think they sweep 3 stages. But let me tell you, there's a wild card. His name's A.J. Allmendinger, and he's a gunslinger. He likes to go for it. He knows he's in a position to get into the All-Star race. He's close. And also, Chris, keep your eye on Eric Jones. Had problems during qualifying. That's a fast Toyota. He could be a factor, but those top 3, if you don't beat them, you're not going anywhere.
And you kind of said that at the beginning of the day, that these were the 3. So far, playing according to form. See how they shake it up. If you tuned in a little bit later here, well, there was a slight delay. Drivers, they had to wait to tee it up in round 2. There's a golf cart on the way. They had to quickly get them off.
And that's the only guy that's been able to slow down Clint Boyer. Clint Boyer was getting ready to hit the track. The golf cart was out there. The official said, I don't like what you're doing or how you're doing it. Pulled him off the road. There's Boyer taking a bit of a break, getting ready to run.
He did turn the fastest lap, so he's going to be on the pole for the Open coming up. Trying to get into his 8th All-Star race. His best finish in the All-Star race was 7th.
Yeah, he drove for us. He won the Open a couple of times at Michael Waltrip Racing, and he's really good at this Charlotte racetrack. It's one of his favorite tracks. It's a tricky place, and you can see this format will bring out the best in these guys.
Yeah, so here's how the Open works with 3 stages. They used to be segments, but stage, that's the in word this year, stages, right? So 20 laps, and then 10 green flag laps. Stage winners advance to the All-Star race. So once you win one stage, Mike, you're out then, right? So
you go to the garage and get ready for the All-Star race, and that's going to be those top drivers go. Clint Boyer is probably going to take the outside on the start, I would guess, try to win that first stage, get in, get it over with, talk with his crew chief, Mike Bugaravich, get the adjustments he needs to be ready for nighttime racing. You do need to make adjustments, Chris. This track will change tremendously as the sun goes down.
Yeah, so as we're watching those top 3, as they whittle this down, right, that driver in that other position here is going to be watching carefully and racing to get inside that 3rd spot.
Yeah, and you've got to watch some of the guys that have nothing to lose, like Eric Jones. And what are you going to do about strategy? Do you decide to make adjustments? What do you do with your tires? How do you go about attacking that final 10-lap segment?
Yeah, the All-Star fan vote, by the way, started back in 2004. And the only multiple winner has been Danica Patrick. She's won it 3 different times. There are a lot of popular guys and drivers here that could be voted in this time.
Well, and it could be Danica as well. But think about this. Think about Chase Elliott, one of our most popular drivers. He's probably thinking, I don't want to rely on my fans. I want to go out and reward my fans for the support they've given me. These drivers all want to race their way into the All-Star race, but they'll take that fan vote if it comes to it.
And just getting into the All-Star race gives you the chance for that $1 million. Last year, Joey Logano, he cashed in. The defending All-Star race champion will join us. Penske finished 1-2 last year. That's the first time teammates finished the All-Star race that way. He'll be sitting with us in the Hollywood Hotel, that wide smile. He'll give us a little strategy and also tell us what he thinks about those drivers in the Open.
Just unbelievable. Down there, hugging his brother, Darrell Waltrip. Ryan Newman is going to win the race.
From dead last to first in 90 laps.
No burnout competition tonight. It all belongs to Casey Kay.
Those 3 drivers that were the only ones to transfer into the All-Star race and then win it. And, of course, one is sitting next to me, as you saw moments ago. So there's you can talk from personal experience for whoever it is tonight gets through the Open. There's some momentum that carries forward.
Definitely, because you're on the same racetrack, obviously, and you're being able to tune your car and feel what you've got. I remember that night in 1996 when we finished the Open. I felt really confident in the car that I had. I knew that I'd made it better throughout the course of that event and thought I could contend in the All-Star race. We had some good times in the Open, a fast car, and we were able to take advantage of it. And I look for Clint Bowyer to do the same thing. I think he's got to be our favorite. Obviously, we're going to talk about Blaney a lot, Chase Elliott, but I think Bowyer can use this race, take the momentum from it, and win the All-Star race.
Yeah, when you won back then, of course, tonight they get $1 million.
Yeah,
What'd you get?
I got $225,000, and I built my mom and dad a house that cost about $150,000, so I went in the hole winning the All-Star race. But my mom still lives in her house, and so she's happy.
That was a nice thing to do. All right, let's hear from some of the drivers. And Jamie Little is standing by with one of the youngest drivers, if not the youngest, Gray Galding. Jamie?
Yes, Gray Galding grew up actually racing on the oval here right in the middle of the track in Bandoleros and Legends, and now here you are living out your dream, your first Open race. So how do you approach this, Gray?
You know, I'm not really nervous at all. I love it. It's All-Star Weekend. You just let it all hang out. I feel like we got a pretty good Bubba Berger Toyota Camry. I'm super excited, like you said. I remember not too long ago, only a couple years ago, I was racing out there on the front stretch, and a lot of hard work to be able to get to this point. It's a dream come true. It really is. But before we go, I want to say we're praying for Nicky Hayden. He is my idol. Really hope he pulls through. So we're going to be racing for him today, and hopefully we can drive our way into this race. I'm excited about it. It's going to be fun.
Thank you for mentioning Nicky, and good luck to you, Gray.
So
Vince?
With Eric Jones going to be one of the favorites in this Open race. We'll start 7th. Are there many strategy plays you can make during this Open, or is it pretty straightforward?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. You know, we don't really have enough tires to make too big of a change from what the rest of the field I think is going to do. So we'll kind of see how it plays out and see what our options are. But sure, it'd be nice just to get the Sirius XM Camry winning here in the first segment, and then we can park it and don't have to worry about it.
Let's go to Matt.
And Matt DiBenedetto, he's one of those drivers mentioned in the fan vote for tonight, but also starting back here in row 7. So are you going to work more on strategy or just try to play it straight up? Because anything can happen in this event.
Yeah, it sure can. You know, I don't know. We were just talking about that a little bit ago. We're just going to play it as it goes and see what we can do. If there is some strategy we can do to get ourselves up front a little more, we're going to do that because that's going to play in a lot. So we'll see. I hope we, if it comes down to it, I hope we get the fan vote. It'd mean a lot to us for sure. Either way, it's been a neat experience to get so much exposure and gain a lot of fans out of this. And so either way, I'm appreciative to all the fans for this this push that we've had and so much support.
D. Burrito back in 14th, Chris.
All right, thanks. And social media, make a play so fans get a vote, but also a chance to earn or race your way in.
Yeah, and Matt DiBenedetto, thank you, easy for me to say. He's made a big push. Dale Jr.'s retweeted some of his tweets, and he said he wants to be in this All-Star race. He doesn't know if he's got the car fast enough to race up there and do it, so you got to take advantage of the fan vote if you can.
That's good backing from a driver of the 88, Dale Earnhardt Jr., who won the All-Star race when he was a rookie. The guy who won the All-Star race last year, and he said, well, he's been one of the most successful drivers in the sport. That's right. Thumbs up for Joey Logano at his Penske Ford. He'll be hanging with Michael and I to talk about this event and the All-Star race coming up.
He just shoves his nose in there.
Dominating performance. $1 million Joey Logano wins the All-Star race.
That's pretty impressive.
Ninth full season in the Cup Series. Nice to have the driver of the 22-18 career wins. We won't bring up the encumbered thing. Sorry about that.
You did right off the bat.
I know, it's part of my job here. And the defending All-Star champ. Before we talk about your All-Star run, you'll be watching the Open rather closely. Tell us what you'll be looking for.
Of course. You know, I'm going to be watching this thing as much as I can. For one, seeing who's fast in it. And what they're doing to make speed. So I'm probably going to be on top of the old 22 hauler over there, and I get a good view of the big screen and also get to see them through 3 and 4 and see where the lines are going on the racetrack. And like I said, who's fast and see how the strategy kind of works out because, you know, their segments are the same length, they're just less of them. So it'll be interesting to see how that all kind of works. And I don't know, to figure out a little bit more of our strategy. That seems like it's going to be the most confusing thing tonight.
Well, I think that if you watched the truck race last night, you saw the grooves are all over this racetrack.
Yeah.
You can run from the bottom of the racetrack all the way up next to the wall. Did you find that in your Cup car as well?
Well, I've made all of like 8 laps in practice. We had a lot of problems with our brakes trying to get that figured out, and by the time we got it fixed, it was during the pit stop practice portion of practice, and so we got a few laps in just to get a feel for what our car's doing, and then we're kind of got to go back to previous history, what we've fought at this track before, and then also kind of what our teammates that learned in practice, and watching Ryan Blaney here in a few laps as well.
What do you take from last year's win in this event that you'll apply tonight, or do you? Is it a whole new ball game?
Go for it.
Yeah.
That's what I learned from it. You go for it, because nobody remembers second place in this race.
Okay.
No one remembers third or fourth. It doesn't make a difference. It's all about winning the race, and nothing else matters. So it makes a lot of fun because everyone has the same attitude in this race. No one's saying it's a good points day, I scored some good stage points. It's all about the victory, whether the way you're calling the race, the way you're on restarts, you're going to be aggressive. No matter what it is, everyone's going to be ultra aggressive all day.
I can't wait to ask you this question. When are you going to put on your option tires? Tell us now.
We don't know. That's the problem. I don't know. I left that up to Todd. I said, Todd, this is what you get paid to do. I'll drive. You tell me what to do.
Todd Gord has made a lot of good calls for you. Does it matter to you in terms of who gets in the Open or voted in, and who's in that 20-car field for tonight, who you're racing against?
Well, we got to beat whoever, right? So whoever's in, we got to beat them. So it doesn't really make a difference, I guess. I mean, you want to see Ryan Blaney in, right? You want to have your somewhat teammate in. That's a big deal. After that, I mean, you don't really want the fastest cars in the race, right? But that's what's going to have to happen. They're going to be in the race for a reason, usually because they're fast. So, yeah, that's just going to be what it is.
And what a great lap Clint Boyer put down in his Ford. So the Fords obviously have some speed here this weekend. That's got to make you feel good.
Yeah, it is a good sign. It's a good sign because I'm not really sure what I got.
Yeah.
So I hope that's the case.
You do a lot of nice things off the track, and the Joey Logano Foundation, the JL Kids crew, helping children in difficult situations. Earlier with 8-year-old Jonah Williams, he spent some time with you and shared a great experience.
Yeah, Jonah's awesome. I just saw him a minute ago, and there he is there. The JL Kids crew, what we've been doing is bringing these kids to the racetrack and give them an awesome experience that have these life-threatening illnesses, and it's amazing to see their reactions. This all started from a funeral that we went to, and we went to this kid's funeral. The whole race team and you know, the whole area, everybody came together. Drivers were there, pit crews were there in their race suits, and all I could think about the whole time we were sitting there while we were in tears was we missed an amazing opportunity. We completely blew it. We did not meet him and do it before he passed, and so that all kind of sprung from that, and Jake Letterman was his name, and so his legacy is living on through JL Kids crew, and this is our second one we've got to do, and it's just the most amazing thing. I wish everyone can actually be there to witness his experience and see his reactions on his face, but it's incredible, a lot of fun.
Yeah, and thus the JL, and you saw the website if people want to contribute or get more involved. And, you know, I know the focus on the All-Star race and then the season. We were glad to see Eric Almirola up and moving around, you and Danica Patrick involved in that crash. And we saw you immediately afterwards last Saturday night in Kansas, and you were, you know, visibly upset when you watched what happened. I mean, it was amazing. You and Danica walk away without a scratch, and then another driver like Eric Almirola goes through what he went through.
Yeah, it's I was glad to see. I got to see him at Martin Truex Catwalk for a Cause, and you know, and to be able to see him walking and talk to him made me feel so good. It's just it's gonna be a hard road for him. Obviously, it's not like he's comfortable right now, but yeah, I was just glad to see he was okay. I had no idea what happened when I was in the infield care center. I heard the doctors talking about there's one driver that's not here yet, and I didn't even know someone else was in the crash because I thought it was just Danica and I. And because things happen so quick, you don't really see it. And there's fire everywhere. You don't see anything. You know, and then the first time I saw it was when I was on TV and I was watching. I was like, oh my God. So I'm just glad everybody's okay, you know, and you know, the best of what we can, and it wasn't worse than what it was.
I think it just goes to show you how fast you guys are running. I mean, we're going to go over 200 miles an hour down into these corners here tonight at Charlotte, and everybody's going to be going for it like it's the last lap, every lap of the race. You know that danger lies ahead. Cars are certainly safer, but they're not safe by any stretch.
No.
How does that affect your psyche as you race tonight?
You just got to go, you know. You got to somehow put all that behind you and not think about it. The time to think about that is at the race shop. when you're putting your seats in your car and you're making everything comfortable, and Penske's got some amazing people to really help do this the right way and do the research that you need to do. And NASCAR has helped out a lot as well, and doing some of these crash tests and understanding what is the best place to put our seats, where to sit, the helmets, the Hans, everything that we use to make that the best we can. So when we strap into the race car, you don't think about that, because that's a huge distraction. If you're thinking about, winning the race and you're going down the end and you're like, oh no, I can get hurt by making this move. You can't race that way. You're never going to win if you think like that.
All right, before we let you get to work, we do this open mic where we move around the track and see where drivers, what they're doing. Sometimes we show you on here. There's Danica, who dressed like Wonder Woman.
Ah, look at that.
And so she'll have an opportunity to try to get past some of the other drivers in the open coming up.
I don't know if her helmet's going to go over that.
And fellow Ford driver, our pole sitter for the open.
Clint Boyer, we talked about how fast that Ford is, and in his practice session yesterday, it looked like he had good long run speed too. He doesn't need much long run, just needs to run 20 laps and get it behind him.
It's a short run weekend for the most part, so 20 laps as long as we're going.
And this is a guy that I think can be a real wild card. He's starting in the 5th position, and you talk about going for it, AJ Allmendinger will do just that.
And he's starting towards the front. He was fast in practice, so looking at the speed charts, he had good speed, especially on the short run. So we'll see how that goes.
And Regan Smith, who will be in Eric Almirola's car for tonight's run.
Yep, and obviously that's a tough situation to jump into a car. You couldn't, you don't know the team very well, and you're trying to fit in the car for one, and trying to understand how to drive it, and boom, you're in the race with just a little bit of practice. So that's tough.
Chase Elliott still waiting for that first win for him.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me though if you see Chase win one of these stages and get through.
We talked about the first 3 guys, Boyer, Blaney, and Chase Elliott. I mean, those have to be your favorites. Blaney's been running great this year. How does he feel about his setup? How's his car running?
Yeah, I'm not sure anyone's car is driving good. That's the one thing I know. Everyone seems like they're slipping and sliding. Even the fastest cars seem like they're slipping and sliding a lot, especially on corner entry. So look out for cars getting loose on entry and slipping up the track and all that. But Blaney was fast last week.
All right, look at this guy. I think he's trying to work we had a golf cart last time. That's a monster.
I might try this later on.
I don't think.
You think that'll work?
No, I don't.
I got that Roush Yates power. I know I can pull the front wheels off the ground.
Here's a Monster Energy move there.
Yeah, the Monster Energy Smoke Show is going to be big tonight on the racetrack, building all kinds of fun and excitement and drama.
And it's a big all-star day and night. The crews, it's the home office. Everybody, family, friends get together and enjoy you guys. And thanks for coming in. We always appreciate your smile and your time with us.
Appreciate you, brother.
I love watching you on the racetrack. All right, we'll watch for Joey Logano in the All-Star race. He'll be watching the Open coming up, and Coca-Cola and Procats invite you to share a moment with Joey Logano and head to the Fox NASCAR Facebook page. Get an exclusive behind-the-scenes look and all kinds of access with Joey and some of your favorite.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. 3-6 in the middle. What a move. I did not see that one coming.
And we welcome in Trevor Bayne. Not only did he win the Open stage last year, he's a Daytona 500 winner, driver of the 6th Roush Fenway Ford, down on the track checking in with us. And after what we saw, 11th now starting position for the Open coming up. Trevor, thanks for being with us for a moment. Based on your starting position here, what's your strategy coming up in the Open?
Well, I've got my hands full so far this weekend. We've made some big gains at Roush Fenway Racing, but Charlotte's not being so good to us so far. In practice yesterday, we were sliding around. Qualifying, not much more grip, super hot out here, so we've just got to go the best we can. We were able to win the first segment last year off of staying out on tires. We were able to get through the restart, take the lead 3 wide. I don't know if we can pull that one off again, but I plan on sliding around and working my way up toward the front here.
Wow, what a highlight reel last year was for you, that big pass to get yourself into the All-Star race. What kind of adjustments do you think it's going to take for you to get your car better? We saw last night in the truck race, trucks running low, trucks running high. There's a lot of grooves out there.
Yeah, with only 20 laps in each segment, it's hard to get that top to pay off. The guys that are really good, watching Clint's Ford run the bottom in qualifying was really impressive. So if they can hold the bottom like that for 20 laps, it's going to be hard to make the top work. But right now it feels like that's my only option. My car is really loose in and tight off. So I feel like I got to get to the wall early, try to make it around the top, and maybe run that in. We only got to run 20 laps of practice last year from winning the first segment. So We may end up getting all 60 laps in tonight with practice, but we'd love to win another segment.
And we know this is a different animal here, but some momentum for you with a good run at Kansas. Does that carry over, even though this is a different track and kind of a different scene?
It does, and the way my car drives here is very similar to how I drove at Kansas, which wasn't great, but we were able to get a result out of it. So with Matt and these guys, I think we can really work hard today to figure out something, if nothing else, learn for next weekend. But with 60 laps, you've got to be pretty on point from the get-go, and so I'm hoping he made some good adjustments here. Obviously, we're really limited with it being impound, but if we can just tighten it up, make it a little more secure on entry, get it to turn better on exit, which is real simple to do, you guys know, we should be able to go to the front.
Trevor, it's All-Star Day. How big would it be for you to take that number 6 car and race it into the big event tonight so you could put your guys in the All-Star show?
It'd be huge. I mean, our teammate's already in. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. winning a couple weeks ago at Talladega. So we want to do the same thing with this 6 car. Points race wins are our goal right now, so we can get into the chase. But here at the All-Star, if we could win a segment in the Open and race our way in, get those extra laps at nighttime for the 600 coming up, that's a big deal for these teams to be able to practice. And it's a big deal for us to win at any time, any racetrack.
All right, Trevor, appreciate your time. Good luck tonight. All right, always good talking to you.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, guys.
We'll be watching for the 6 Ford. All right, so teams have major decisions to make. You were teasing Joey Logano about that a moment before. When it comes to deciding when and whether to use their prime tires or for the first time in this race, there are one set of option tires with the green markings. The option tire is softer, provides more speed, but wears out quickly. And you took it to the test, Michael. And later tonight, we're going to take a closer look at your reaction after the ultimate on-track test. Green, yellow.
Oh, yeah.
What do you want to call monster tires, right? Is that what you want to call them?
Yeah, they put those soft babies on there, and it set me free. I loved them.
You just felt good to be back on the track at a scene at All-Star Race where you have had success before. Let's bring in Crew Chief Larry McReynolds, former Crew Chief. He's now America's Crew Chief, and he's our Crew Chief at the pre-race inspection area with his laser-like focus.
Laser.
And Larry has more on the tires. Hey, Larry.
Hey, Chris. I've been in the sport for 37 years, and it's the first time I can ever remember Goodyear bringing 2 options of tires. We have our prime tire. It's the tire like we'll race in the Coca-Cola 600 next week. But the green tire, the option tire, it's going to be quicker, and it has more grip. But it's not an option for these open drivers. But, Chris, because some of these drivers like A.J. Allmendinger, Dave Blaney, they have a little bit of confidence that they'll transfer to the All-Star race, and it will be a factor in that race. A lot of them opted to make some runs yesterday just to have a little bit of information on them.
All right, thank you very much, Larry. You know, usually when I want tires, I go into Goodyear, I say, give me 4, here's a credit card, and that's it. But it's different for this. There's a lot more at stake. All right, our crew, he's won an All-Star race. Larry's experience as a crew chief in this. And then this gets really interesting. A controversial All-Star race that left a member of our crew happy and the other one fuming. And you're going to hear their side of the story straight ahead on FS1. Darrell Waltrip, the Hall of Famer with an All-Star win. You'll soon see why he felt he should have more than just that one that first time. Jeff Gordon, part of our crew here now at Fox, 3 All-Star wins. Oh, and he brings it up all the time when we get to this time of year. I'm just kidding. The past 32 All-Star races have produced many memorable moments. 22 different winners. In 1987, Dale Earnhardt passing the grass. 2 years later, Rusty Wallace spun out Darrell. In 1995, Darrell ran into an old friend.
I think an old friend ran into Darrell.
All right, now, I don't know what he said, but everything he said is a damn lie.
I'm telling you right now, I'd be thinking jump.
I'd jump him right now.
To start.
Yeah, I didn't get much of a jump. I got a little wee bit of a jump on him.
Oh, DW did jump him.
They waved off the restart. We're going to line them up and do it again.
Pace car's in.
I remember coming down to this final restart. DW jumped the last restart.
So I knew I had, okay, well, I'll have to play it pretty conservative here.
He did not jump him now.
This looks dead even.
I got a better car than he does. I know I can beat him.
We both got a really good start.
I get just a little bit of edge on him going into turn 1.
I actually overdrove turn 1 and got up into the rear of DW. We're side by side.
I got him right here, and he gives me a little nudge. Lost a little momentum.
And that just stalled both of us out.
Now we're drag racing down the back side by side. And the track's kind of rough, the cars are bouncing.
And that allowed Dale to get a big run to the inside.
Here comes the old gray mare on the inside. It's Earnhardt all the way to the bottom.
And he just dove in there so hard. DW's in a perfect position up high.
And out the corner of my eye, way over down on the apron, I see this silver car, and I think silver car. Earnhardt. Oh, crap.
Where will Earnhardt go?
We get to the third turn, and I have to give Gordon some credit.
I mean, I kind of saw it coming. I knew I needed to take the inside lane.
I sealed in the corner. Dale comes in on the bottom, knows he can't make it.
You see Earnhardt starting to drift up.
Lee Dale Earnhardt gets loose.
Only way he's going to make it's bounce off of me.
He's still got to go by
He slams me. We both wreck.
Those guys went flying into the wall.
Destroys both cars.
I knew right then that two of my fiercest competitors in this race were just taken out of it.
And the rest is history.
Jeff Gordon. It will go to victory lane.
Is that anywhere near what Gordon said?
PW, hate to say, buddy, I think I had you covered.
And now they're cozy in the booth, right?
Gosh.
They're just best buddy. Well, Daryl, Jeff, I'm glad we settled that argument, right?
Oh, yeah, we settled it all right. Look, he said, I won all 3 segments. I won all 3 segments. Let's get ready to kick your butt. He didn't know that, but I was ready for
I
you.
held back in my interview because, I mean, the guy was hurt. He went into the wall. He had some bruised ribs. I wanted to take it easy on him.
How did you know that you had to get down to the inside when those two were side by side?
Well, because Dale really, he did not have the car that Daryl and I had, even though I had the best car. And he knew that was his moment. That was his opportunity, and I knew he was going to use up every bit of his car in order to try to make that pass.
It was a crazy, right at that point, it was crazy. But I tell you, looking back on it, I never thought we'd be standing up here talking about it, so that's kind of cool.
And I still sense not a whole lot of agreement here. 22 years to the day since that happened.
Wow,
Incredible.
that's a long time.
It still feels like yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it does. That was a lot fun. But I tell you, I love the All-Star race, being a competitor in it back then. I love being up here in the booth watching these guys go too.
I like that a lot better.
All right, only winning matters. In the open, let's go trackside.
And now, for the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome your Grand Marshal, Chief Executive Officer for Carolina Beverage, Andy Kerner.
On behalf of Monster Energy and Carolina Beverage Group, drivers, start your engines!
There's a lot of special rules for the All-Star night, but for the Open, there is but one rule. Win or go home. The Monster Energy Open on FS1 next.